What if DNA, the strongest evidence in court, betrayed you? Not because you touched the victim, not because you were at the crime scene, but because your DNA traveled there, without you. Welcome to True Crime Mysteries, The Shadow Lens, where every case reveals a darker truth, and every secret hides in plain sight. Subscribe, and step into the shadows. December 2nd, 2012. Silicon Valley, California. Ravish Kumra, a millionaire tech executive, was murdered inside his gated mansion. But amid the chaos, investigators find one piece of evidence they believe will seal the case: DNA. Traces of genetic material under Kumra's fingernails. Proof, they think, of a fight to the death. When the lab runs the test, detectives are stunned. The DNA belongs to a man no one expected, Lukis Anderson, a homeless alcoholic, living on the margins of society. To investigators, it's simple. The victim fought back. Anderson's DNA proves he was there. Case closed. Anderson is dragged into custody. Prosecutors move quickly, preparing charges that could bring life in prison, or even the death penalty. But there's one problem. One detail so impossible it should have stopped everything. On the night of the murder, Lukis Anderson wasn't roaming the streets of Silicon Valley. He wasn't anywhere near the millionaire's mansion. He was in a hospital bed, unconscious. And yet, the DNA doesn't lie. Right? For months, Anderson rots in jail, branded a killer. And yet, if Anderson was in the hospital, how could the DNA be under the victim's nails? This contradiction drives his defense team into a desperate investigation. And what they discover changes everything. Earlier that same night, Anderson had collapsed on the streets. Paramedics rushed him into the emergency room. His DNA, sweat, skin cells, traces of saliva, clung to their gloves, their equipment, their clothing. Hours later, those very same paramedics responded to the scene at Ravish Kumra's mansion, never realizing they carried a hidden passenger, Lukis Anderson's DNA. In that moment, a ghostly transfer occurred. Invisible evidence left behind. Powerful enough to nearly steal an innocent man's life. For 5 months, Anderson lived under the weight of a crime he did not commit. And then, the truth finally emerged. Retesting. And the shocking realization that Anderson's DNA wasn't proof of guilt, it was proof of how fragile justice can be when we place blind faith in science. Anderson walked free. But the scars of those months in jail would never fully fade. Lukis Anderson's case shows DNA can also create criminals out of the innocent. This is True Crime Mysteries, The Shadow Lens, where evidence isn't always the truth and every case hides shadows the light can't reach. This is just the 3rd episode. Because in our next episode, we'll uncover a phantom criminal who haunted Europe for years. Was she a mastermind? Or was the evidence itself lying? Subscribe now, and step into the shadows.